around. As if you couldn't tell. My brain is tired. It's been thinking often today. There's this one backing track I'm looking for and I can't find it. It's like it's a scourge, I swear. Well, while we're doing that, you know, I set this up all before, but that last track just sounded so bland. It was boring. It was like, ugh. I have to clear that down. I have to spell the whole frickin' thing out again. There we go.
JB here, just come back.
I love this guy. He's the one. Every time I'm on. Don't talk on a backing track.
switching names.
Listen, do it for me. Is this a pause or is he done? I think he's done. Is that everything before this guy who talks over the end of it? We have to shut him up. We have to shut him up. Oh my. That's a lot. There's a lot going on there. I can't see my screen. I have my pretty fly for a white guy.
Thank you. Especially amusing Fit Rizzler. Huh.
I meant to put on. I had the screenshot of blocked words. So if anybody uses these words in the comments, they'll be blocked. Tallywhacker, tallywhacky, witness to tallywhacky, defendant tallywhacky. Just variations of that is all. So no reference to tallywhacky, tallywhacker, witness to tallywhacking. It was ridiculous, obviously.
It's being ridiculous.
Oh, it's a drumming cover. Nice. That's nice.
That's not what I wanted. There's a genre of rock backing tracks which I don't get because it's called stoner rock, but I don't know what that sounds like, but some of it's pretty good, but let's try some of it just for shits and grins. Track. I was just noodling to it as well, here's one. This is that kind of metal track in D minor. Yeah, like it is. Where'd it go? Why do you have such an echo now? Where'd it go? Okay. Back to that. I like that one. It's got possibility. sounds different in my ears. Of course, I do have some hearing loss from being in radio and playing guitar way too loud for way too long. What? But it doesn't sound that good. I'll hear it and go, oh my God, that sounds like crap. It's like someone assaulted a goat. It's a crime in a lot of states, I'm pretty sure. But not Missouri. Goats are specifically accepted. Pretty flat. Tally-ho! Oh, yes! That is allowed, apparently. Otherwise, now try to write tally-wacky. You won't be able to. It's blocked. I don't know. I think it's silly. If people want to express themselves, if I can handle it. There's nothing you can say. Don't try me on it. No, I should. Let's all be nice. I want to try to remember which amp it was. That. That I had got the Charlie Brown voice going on. I'm not going to play as long tonight because my dog has been very patient. Actually, she treats me like I'm her butler sometimes. It's like, I'll say, do you really need to go outside? Now, she does understand me more than most dogs. And she's also she's had to be very adept at language because she was in traction for a good part. This is my theory because, I'm not the dog whisperer. And she learned how to do a jump. I made like this obstacle course. And she just went right on the jump one day. I go, hey, do the jump. And she just did. I was like, wow, smart dog. We're going to make it. She's going to overcome my inadequacies. Anyway, but tonight I'm like, you really have to go outside because it's muddy outside. So I have to wipe her feet off. It's quite an ordeal. And she's really finicky about her paws. That's the part Shibu part. They like cats. They clean themselves, which is great when you try to lay down your pillow and it's covered in lovely kisses from your puppy. All over. Brings a new meaning to the word wet spot. Wet spot being from when the dog was chewing its feet, which is not a sign of any issues. Now, most people are like, oh, no, that's got to be no, there's nothing wrong at all. It's nothing wrong at all. That's what Shibus do. They're self-preening. They self-clean. It's nice. I do bathe her on a regular basis because, which is usually about every 2 weeks, but in the winter not as much. One day, I think it was 3 months ago, something like that, I was like, hey, you're starting to smell like a dog. And if you start smelling like a dog, I'm going to start smelling like a dog because you're always like 8 feet from me. I had to close the door at night. I don't like the loud sounds around her. She comes in here and just lays down at my feet, but it's just so loud. It's not good for her ears. It's not good for her ears, eh? Let's see what this one's like. I had tracks all lined up. I just don't feel like those. want to get to the part. I wasn't planning on doing it now, but so. Can you hear that too? Can you hear that too? Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I'm just kidding. When we get to that stage, we got bigger problems. Okay. What? That's better. Okay. So the story behind the lyrics, if you ever listened to it, and I encourage you to, I'm going to wrap up here in a second. Go listen to Everybody Wants Some by Van Halen. The story behind that song is David Lee Roth, not surprisingly, was not great about prepping his lyrics, and he was always writing them last minute. He claimed it gave him more spontaneity, and Ted Templeman somewhat agreed. And they were doing a show in Phoenix, and Dave was just, jiving with the crowd. He's like, hey, you guys in Phoenix are lucky. These ladies, they're nice looking, whatever. And he's like, I know, everybody wants some. I want some too. And Ted Templeman goes back after. He goes, hey, write that down in your notebook, because that could be a good song. So they go record it. It actually turns out to be one of their better songs at that time. And at the end, because he was like noodling and just filling in the spaces with vague references that weren't even the lyrics, he was supposed to be saying, like, looking for a moonbeam. But there's that line, it sounds like, I remember my son asked one time, what does that mean? I'm like, I have no idea. Looking for a moopy. So when you listen to that song, it's the second verse, I believe, of Everybody Wants Some. And then for a trivia question, what 80s movie was Everybody Wants Some featured in? It was a scene. There was a movie in 2016 called Everybody Wants Some. That's not what I'm talking about. So if you're a Googler, you're cheating. Come on now. Time's on the clock. The answer is in the next episode. No, I'm not going to do it to you. It is Better Off Dead. John Cusack's in the he's making the hamburger, and the hamburger comes alive with the eruption, the original Frankenstein guitar, little version of it, little claymation version. Not amazing that we've come that far. You don't even need that now. You can just use AI, which is kind of cheating. And there's so many people on here who are using AI as if it's them singing. And I wish, when I do it, I'm very clear about it, but I don't hold anything out that isn't mine. And you can usually tell because it's gritty and imperfect, like I am, like all of us are really. And it's just kind of, I don't know. I think people are getting hip to it, and it kind of turns off some people. There's a couple songs I really like, but it's like, damn, is that AI? Because every time I see him, I don't see the person. I just see this creation of a person. It might look similar to them, but it's not them. It's not them singing. It's not them playing the music, anything. It's kind of like, okay. So you came up with the base idea for it. Okay, that's great. But I am like not even a neophyte level in terms of being a musician. And my guitar playing has taken a slide recently. I just need to get back to playing a couple hours a day, which is hard to do sometimes. But it is what it is, I don't hold myself out as Yingwei Malmsteen. I watched Shifting Gears at the Attention Deficit Disorder Theater. The Crossroads scene with Ralph Macchio, which is unbelievable, frankly, that he could cut heads. That's where they face off against each other. Steve Vai. And Steve Vai, I think, has always not gotten the recognition that he should in some ways. Poor guy had to play Eddie Van Halen's parts when David Lee Roth had him as his guitarist, which nobody likes playing other people's music. It's hard to do, especially Eddie Van Halen stuff, because you could set your amp exactly the way, have his guitar tech set it up for you, and you're not going to sound like Eddie because Eddie just sounded like Eddie. He had that unique flair and nuance that just is. Wolfgang can do it, but he chooses not to, which I totally get. I saw an interview with Wolfgang, and he talked about the fact that he was glad to do the encore for Ozzy, the tribute, and play those two songs to show he could, number one, And number two, to show that he chooses not to. Because his music, and I'm going to review it in total, his new album is really good. And he's so talented. He doesn't play just guitar or drums, or he plays all of them and sings beautifully. In fact, there's a clip from when they were touring, and I'm so glad that my son and I got to see Van Halen when they were all together. Beautiful experience. But they're doing the sound check, and David Lee Roth did not come out for the sound check, probably at the behest of the Van Halens. And they sounded so good, but in this one sound check, they're doing All Wait, and Wolfgang starts singing it, and his dad just looks over and smiles, because he's singing it really well. He does it really well, and makes his dad happy to see that. That's just a beautiful father-son kind of thing. It's cool. If you can meld it all. For me, it's personally, like, I connect, because the first concert ticket that I ever purchased with my own money, and keep in mind, my mom took me to an awesome concert when I was a kid, a lot of Motown, which was awesome. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, I bought my first concert ticket at 13. It would have been the Diver Down tour, I believe, 1982. Oh gosh, I'm not. You can deduct from that my age if you're not my age. And then I bought the new album, Tattoo, whatever it was, that with David Lee Roth on it, which was okay. And I had it in the CD player, and I used to love taking my kids to school in mornings. I didn't have court that was a different direction, so that was a lot of mornings, frankly, because it's good quality time. It's about a half an hour drive into school. And I see my son, he's lip-syncing the lyrics. He, like, knows the song. I go, do you like this? He goes, yeah, it's really good. I'm like, do you want to go to their concert? He's like 7, I think. Maybe. Yeah, he'd been about 7, 6 or 7. And he goes, yeah. So we did. I took him to Van Halen. They were coming, I think, in a couple months. And I put my gun range headphones on him so he didn't get hearing loss like me. But I also took him to Def Leppard, which was fun. And at the end I go, did you notice anything? Yeah, their songs sound the same. Yes, they do. they're great. But when you play them all together, it's like, sounding. But that's the Def Leppard sound, you know, that they have. And they've got their power chords. They just move one finger. And it's perfect. And life is good. Can't complain. It's good music. It's good fun music. It's good. It's like, I equate it with cotton candy. Cotton candy, it's nice once in a while, but you can't have it as a main diet. You got to have some vegetables and chicken and fish, whatever. Unless you're vegan, which I don't know how you do that. I tried that. It did not do well. I mean, I need meat. I need meat. Once in a while, beef. Anyway, with that lovely diatribe of tangential thoughts, I think I'm going to say good night. And have a pleasant tomorrow. And be good to each other. It's not that hard. Just start with some random strangers and ask them how their day is and mean it. And thank you all for coming, and tally forth.